Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 3, Arsenal 2. For everybody who watches the United Stand, and we've been doing this week on week on week, I will say that is all to you. Absolutely superb, ecstatic. You know what? Things can be bad. The world can be ending. But one thing is certain, Manchester United will always turn over the bottlers, the spineless jelly babies, Arsenal. And tonight, and maybe for a few days, we've saved Twitter because all those morons on there who for 52 weeks of the year spout rubbish have been put back in their box and put away. Even David Moyes beat Arsenal. And today, our under-18s and Michael Carrick at centre-back have done it as well. Superb. I'm not going to touch on Louis van Gaal for the first few minutes because I tell you what, any Manchester United, any real Manchester United fan would not sacrifice even a point to Arsenal. So to beat them, I know everybody out there who does support Manchester United will be positive, ecstatic, exactly like I am as well. Marcus Rashford, I said it on Thursday night, I don't do bandwagons. The Louis van Gaal bandwagon has just pulled up outside Old Trafford for all you lot who want to jump on that. Personally, I won't be, but Marcus Rashford, I'm not getting on that bandwagon yet, but I did say out of all our there's three youth players who I definitely think will make it. Herrera is world-class potential. Fosu Mensah, who came on, is top-class potential, and Rashford is top-class potential as well. 2 chances, 2 goals. Keep Messi, keep Neymar. You know, I know Messi came through Barcelona, but Neymar, Manchester City and Chelsea are mercenaries. They love buying the best talent in the world. Ask any real Manchester United fan if you can have Messi or Neymar or Bale, or you can have a young lad like Rashford who will come through and score goals. Every real Manchester United fan will go for Rashford. That is what we are. That is what we were today. That is what he did on Thursday night, and he did it at the top game today at Old Trafford. 2 chances, 2 goals. We've been crying out for an Andy Cole type of striker at Manchester United for years and years and years. I'm not going to say he's going to be that, but how exciting that is. 3 goals, I really felt, the 3 biggest goals I've celebrated all season, other than the Anthony Martial one against Liverpool. Absolutely superb. Really, really felt it. Really, really think that Rashford could be something special. He just needs to give him time, as we all are, and let's just see what happens. But absolutely superb and a big 3 points. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help us. Spurs won, Leicester won, but the big thing is as well, and I don't ever really want Manchester United to be like this, but this is what we've become under Van Gaal this season. We've probably just stopped Arsenal winning the league, which is quite a nice thing, because I think if you let Arsenal win the league, every manager below them should be sacked anyway. But performance-wise, Liverpool, you know what? I'm going to be honest. It's quite hard to judge Manchester United at the moment because we've beaten Shrewsbury, who were poor, a pub team from Daneland, and Arsenal. And beating Arsenal at Old Trafford, it's hard to gauge because they're a bunch of bottlers. But we beat them, and it does put a smile on my face. But going through the team, I thought Carrick and Blind were superb. Let's remember that, you know, I can talk to you about why we've got so many injuries. So many people this week saying it's not Van Gaal's fault. You know what? I don't really want to get into that. But if you've done sports science, impact injuries will come from being overtrained. And his training tactics are bad. But it doesn't matter today because we won anyway. And we beat them with our youth team. Look at the bench. Look at the starting 11. I mean, there's no way. Thierry Henry he said at the start of the game, not Arsenal should win this. They should be winning it well by 3 or 4-0. When you look at the comparative teams, that's Arsenal's best team. That's Arsenal's best 11. Supposedly a team that should be winning the league against the Manchester United side, where our best 11 aren't even on the pitch. I mean, I can't put it any clearer to you than that. And we've won the game. So fantastic. Watford coming up on Wednesday. All we can do is win that. But I tell you what, if we can take one big positive from this, with this riding of confidence that we've got, Europa League, that's where it's at. Unfortunately, the league, he killed us in the league a long time ago. I think we're 10 points off. We're so many points off. It's gonna, you know, top 4 is basically gone. Doesn't matter what happens. But Europa League, let's take that confidence into that. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. This confidence and everything, take it into the Europa League, because we're not going to get anywhere in the league. Some people, let's have a look at some of your comments. Next year champions, all there is to say today is the youth, as long as we don't. Well, this, you know what? Sunday Night Live tonight with Zara and Kev and everyone like that. Do watch it, because I think one of the big things about tonight is, this afternoon, is that performance was good, and there were some really good young performances in there. But those who are Jose Mourinho in, which I am over Louis van Gaal, I'll be honest, and I still think it's going to happen. I do start to think today, will he play as much as those young players? But then again, by the time Mourinho comes in, so many of these young players have been blooded and proven it on the top level that, you know, I've been saying for a long time we need Lukaku. If Rashford continues as he is, screw Lukaku. We don't need Lukaku, because that player, that young lad there, is better than what Lukaku is, because the goals were great. What I really liked about Rashford, and yes, he is my man of the match, was that Memphis had a shot. It came out of Czech's hands by a couple of yards, and Rashford was furious with himself because he didn't follow it in. He'd already scored 2 goals. He'd already won us the game, and he was furious with himself. Also, he's very good control. He runs into the channels. He's got a lot of desire, a lot of passion. Perfect. Absolutely brilliant. Blind Carrick, brilliant. Varela, early yellow card. I mean, Arsenal couldn't even beat us with the ref on side. Varela picked up an early yellow card, was really good, had a part in both goals. Left back Rojo at fault on that goal. The game was won at 2-0, and Rojo was pitiful. One of you lot said it on our live comment box that you're worried about Rojo today. He was at fault. We let silly little goals go in, but back to Carrick, I thought was brilliant. People saying he had a bad game, don't know what you're on about. Herrera and Schneiderlin, I said it before the game, hard to judge them against Shrewsbury and Midtjylland, but again, against a good midfield today, they were good, positives. Mata, I thought he was like a Mars bar in a diet shop, and I keep saying it, but non-existent a lot of the time. But he made that 3rd goal where he put Rashford in, and then he laid it off to Herrera, which deflected in. Memphis, didn't think he was anywhere near as good as Thursday night. Didn't expect him to be anyway. He was okay. Still needs to do a lot more. Lingard, first half an hour, seemed to be playing centrally, and Varela was getting doubled up on a lot, but he did okay, Lingard. I'm not going to be negative about anybody. And Rashford, absolutely star man. I'm going to touch on Van Gaal because there's a lot of people in there saying don't get carried away, Mark, this, that and the other. I'm 100% Louis van Gaal out. I think you're an absolute hypocrite to be going anywhere else. I'm not joking about the Van Gaal bandwagon, which is outside. I know that there's a lot of people who will jump on it because of that result today, but the damage, the credit and everything like that has been done. All I would say is what I've been saying for the last few weeks is I expect we'll probably keep on picking up some results. I hope we can win the Europa League and get into the top 4. And then this disease within our club needs to go away. That's how I feel. I will not change that. I will not change it. I think you're wrong if you change that. You can back Van Gaal, but what I would say is this, and this is the 100 truth. You don't even need to be research. You know this is true. Because of the bad training and the overtraining and the amount of injuries we've got, which 100% have been brought on by him, we've been allowed to see people like Rashford, which he wasn't picking at all. People who say, oh, we give him some credit for the youth. Rashford's not been somebody he's been picking. He's been on the bench like Herrera, and he's been forced to pick him, and he's clearly ready. So I don't buy into that at all. And secondly, if everybody was fit, you know, as well as I know, as well as the big frustration I've had for the last 18 months, is that Fellaini would have played today and we probably would have lost the game. This is what Louis van Gaal is. He can take the credit because he's decimated the squad and young players come in and win us the game. But actually, if he wasn't decimating the squad and he had a full fit squad, he'd still be picking Fellaini and then we'd still be crap. So that I'm realistic, and that's that. You know, I know the truth. Every time you think, oh, we might get. He might drop Fellaini. As soon as Fellaini's fit again, he'll play him. If he was playing this sort of football all the time and giving these players like Herrera and Schneiderlin in the midfield, I would be happy. But he doesn't do that. So that's why I'm Louis van Gaal out. But I'm excited by what we've got. I think we've got some young players coming through, and I'm always ecstatic to beat Arsenal. So you know what? That's what it's about. That's about being a Manchester United fan. Is about days like today. It's about beating Arsenal. It's about, and there's so much youth in that squad coming through. Fosu Mensah coming on really exciting me because he's another young player who I think should have been involved before, who hasn't been involved, had to be involved today, and he plays. Rashford again. Not been involved, forced to be involved, and he produces it. And I've been saying about Rashford and Herrera and Fosu Mensah for a long time. They're the 3 best young players we've got coming through, and they're only well, Herrera still doesn't play, but the other 2 are only involved because we are down to our under-18s. So you know what, Victor Bruins, Louis van Gaal in. I'll leave it with you, mate. You know, United stand, have your opinion, but I think it's highly hypocritical because 2 weeks ago you were Louis van Gaal out, and I think that, you know, Arsenal lost today. that's an Arsenal fan sort of view. They'll all be Wenger out today. But no, I'm totally Louis van Gaal out. But I'm absolutely ecstatic with that result. Absolutely superb. And we've just stopped Arsenal winning the league. That for me, I know some of you will be happy about that. For me, that's not good enough. But we shall see. A lot of people saying you better be on the show tonight, Mark, at 9 o'clock. Well, we'll see about that. But like the video, subscribe to the United Stand. You know what? I'm absolutely ecstatic with that result. Marcus Rashford, I've been craving an Andy Cole type striker at Manchester United. I'm not going to put that pressure on him, but he's 2 chances, 2 goals. That's what I would say. Fellaini, 50 million chances and still gets picked and misses them all. But yeah. I don't want to get into the Louis van Gaal debate because I'm a Manchester United fan and I've said Louis van Gaal needs to be sacked and I want him out, and I still get people messaging me saying, oh, you've got to give him some credit now. I'm not giving him any credit. I'm not a hypocrite. I want him to go. That's my opinion. Have your opinion. You want to get on the bandwagon when you weren't on it 2 weeks ago, that's up to you. But Manchester United have just beaten Arsenal. We've got a young lad of 18 who really is exciting me. Fosu Mensah, come on, I really rate him. I think at some point he's going to start playing Herrera. And we're going to have players coming back from injury. And if we can, I've said, if we can just hang on in there, we've got a great chance of beating Liverpool over 2 legs, because the one thing about our players is we do raise it against the big teams. I think we could have obliterated Arsenal today. I thought they were tougher than us in the tackle, which surprised me. But Van Gaal doesn't like aggression. First 20 minutes, we weren't putting the tackles in, and we don't do that under Van Gaal. And I missed that. I missed that Roy Keane in the team. But we still, even though we didn't go aggressive with Arsenal, we still beated them. Welbeck, it was like he was on a Manchester United stadium tour. He was prancing around like Rod Stewart as if he owned the place, and all we needed to do was bang, hit him with a tackle. Carrick tried it and he missed, but we need to do that. But sorry, Kieran, I've apparently repeated myself. I'm going to run out. I'm going to run off now. You know what? We're still getting people on there who just don't like the fact that I won't come on here and say Louis van Gaal should stay. You won't get that on this channel. You'll get honest, consistent opinion without hypocrites. But if you want him to stay, that's fine. Get commenting below and we'll have a little bit of debate about that. I think we'll touch on it more at 9 o'clock, because I know there's a couple of the lads who will now be Louis van Gaal in. And I think it does pose the question, and it's a valid question, Jose Mourinho, what happens to all this youth? But don't be fooled by this youth argument of Louis van Gaal. What I would leave you with is this. Louis van Gaal has this philosophy of youth. It's not a philosophy, it's a necessity, because he decimates the first team squad with injury. And that's the truth. Rashford's not been involved at all until now because everybody's injured. So Marcus Rashford's a player I've been mentioning and others have been mentioning for months. He's not had a look in until the other night because Martial was out. He doesn't play him. He doesn't play Herrera. He doesn't really play Fosu Mensah. He's played others ahead of him. So I don't buy into Louis van Gaal getting any credit at all, and that is my opinion. Apparently, I'm an idiot. You know what? If you're going to put your comments on there and be keyboard warriors, I welcome them. They mean nothing. But write another sentence. I mean, maybe you can't write another sentence. I don't know. But certainly do give it up. Negativity, no, you've joined us late. Trigger, we're not being negative at all. We discussed things through on the United Stand, and the first 5 minutes was brilliant, and we've won. Don't know. I think we've run out there, unless somebody else wants to give us. Mark, what do you? Okay, don't talk about Ryan. Schneiderlin, Mark, stop this. It's getting boring. Don't know what you're talking about. So, in summary, fantastic win. We beat Arsenal. We don't beat Manchester United. I think Rashford's absolutely superb, and I'll leave you with it. I think you're an idiot and you're negative and you're a hypocrite if you're turning towards Louis van Gaal in, because simply 2 weeks ago everybody was Louis van Gaal out, and I don't respect hypocrites. But I know most of the people who watch the United Stand aren't. You've been with us from the start. You'll still be with us. Enjoy tonight. We've beaten Arsenal. They won't be winning the league. And we've got a young striker who I think is fantastic. I just hope Roy Hodgson doesn't jump on the bandwagon and pick him for England, because we need to protect him and we need to keep him in. Superb result. Enjoy the rest of the night. I don't agree with you people saying it's negative. Watch the video back, or, I mean, I just don't know what you're on about. I think you're trying to get me to lose it, but I won't be. Thanks for watching. Manchester United beat Arsenal, the United Stand. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and remember, we're back 9 o'clock live at 9 o'clock, and Zara's presenting the show. So that's something to be positive about, isn't it? See you later, everybody. What a result.